Hey, didn't you like going back to those days of Dr. Seuss? I love those days, and I love Dr. Seuss. Great, great, great books. So you just watched The Sneetches, and besides talking a lot about lessons learned with regard to prejudice and bullying and that kind of a thing, this is really a great example of how we think of mathematical functions. Okay. And so when you think back to the movie, and I've got a little piece of clip art there from the Sneetches themselves, we have some words here that we're going to talk about: input, output, domain, and range. You don't have to write these down right now. We'll hit that once we actually do our formal notes for this section. But what I want you to think about is when you saw at the very beginning, and this shyster comes in. He's going to try and take advantage of them and take their money. And he's going to let the plain bellied Sneetches come on in through his machine and get a star put on. So when you talk about what an input is into his machine or whatever is there, the input would be one Sneetch, okay, going in with a plain belly, okay. I know I'm not an artist. Give me a break. Okay. So the plain bellied Sneetch comes in and goes in through the machine. That's your input. And then ding, what comes out at the end is now you have your star bellied Sneetch. I bet you can't even see this because it might even be in the way. So I'll move it over here. Let's say here's the output. And here comes your star bellied Sneetch now with the little fabulous star on their belly. Okay. And they're happy now. That's your output. Okay. In addition, now we have these two words, the domain and the range. And these are terms you probably haven't heard before. So I just want to illustrate. Input is one of these items going into the machine. The output is the one item coming out. So when I ask you what is the domain, which I'm going to have you do on your function machine project here in a moment, your domain would be all of the plain bellied Sneetches. Okay. So you got a whole bunch of them here waiting to go into the machine. All right, so draw several of them to illustrate. This is like the set of all of your inputs here that are waiting to go on in. And likewise, the output is one item, but your range then is really the set of all your possible outcomes. And so over here in this particular example, you're going to have all of these Sneetches who've now come out and they have a beautiful star on their belly. And apparently they're happy, even though they went and got a tattoo without their mother's approval. Sounds like some children I know. Mine. Okay, so you have input and domain, output and range. So here is your assignment for today. You are going to make a function machine. You are going to create it. You're going to draw it. And you can make it do any bizarre thing in the world. Okay. But here are the elements that I want to see on the piece of paper that I'm going to hand you. At the very top, you're going to have your statement, your sentence. My function machine does what? So is it going to turn smelly socks into lattes from Caribou? I don't know, something like that maybe. Maybe it's going to turn broccoli into chocolate chips, or maybe it will turn old soggy wet leaves into quarters. I don't know. Be creative and to be bizarre and come up with something funky. All right. But it has to have something that has an input, and you're going to have to draw this. Okay. So draw an input, whatever that may be. Draw it, label it. So I want you to physically write input. Same thing with what your output is. What's your domain and your range? That would be all of your inputs, all of your outputs. Be creative. And I actually really want you to color it. I don't even want that to be optional. I want you to color it. So what is it going to look like? Well, it's going to, now this is my crude thing. So this is my machine. Okay. So you got your conveyor belt of stuff going in and stuff coming out. Okay. So here's your machine. So I would say something like my function machine let's see, what is it? Turns dirty socks, because who wants to touch those, into lattes. Oh, that would be delightful. So then on my conveyor belt here, I'm going to have the old smelly sock. Okay. There we go. Pew. Put little stinky things there. Okay. And this is my input. I have to label it. Okay. And it's going to go into my machine, which has all kinds of, I don't know, antenna and dials and knobs or whatever. And then what comes out is this beautiful, put my little cozy on there, beautiful latte that's just delicious, because who doesn't live on coffee? So this is my output right over here. I'm going to label it and point it out. Then I want you to illustrate to me that here's your domain. Your domain would be all of the dirty socks. So you just have all of your dirty, smelly socks here. I'm drawing them like this, but in reality, they're probably all wadded up in a stinky old ball under your bed. Ew! That's disgusting. All right, so here's my domain. My range is going to be this delightful tray that is going to have all of these beautiful lattes sitting on here. Oh, that is just delightful. Nice steaming. Okay. Of course, for me, they would all have hazelnut flavor in them or whatever. Get a bunch of them there. Okay. Wow. Fabulous. And of course, I would hope that you're a little better artist than me. I'm just slapping this up here in a very quick mode. I would like you to be creative. And remember, here's your criteria. What does my function machine do? Explain that to me. Your input and your output. Okay, and you have to have your machine there showing something coming in, something coming out. Your domain is all of your inputs, the set of all of them, and your range is the set of all the outputs. Be creative and give it some color. Okay, use a little bit of your artistic talents. Go to town. Alrighty, doesn't that sound fun? Absolutely. Oh, and don't forget to put your name on it, because if you like it, then you should have put your name on it. Oh, oh, oh. Don't want it to be on the no name wall. All right. Be creative. Good luck. And may the force be with you.